What's up, guys? I'm Joe. Appreciate you stopping by the channel. Hope you're all doing well. So I have another little project that I've been working on, and I'm going to share some of that with you in this video. I have been wanting to get some bench strops. I have one small one, but it's not really that good. It's fine, but it's not that great. And I have some strops that early on when I first started to straight razor shave, I ruined these strops. I cut them pretty bad. I know you can sand them. I'll show you one. I know you can sand them and refinish them, but I just like this one here. That's a pretty bad cut. Yeah, I know you can sand them and refinish them, and I know a lot of people have, but I was buying strops that weren't very expensive in the beginning. They're Duke City strops. They're excellent strops. I still have several Duke City strops. When I would ruin those, I would just replace them. But I didn't get rid of them because I thought there's something I can still do with this leather eventually. So I'm not just going to throw them away. Maybe I'll practice refinishing them or try and refinishing them, but it's not something that I ever did. I did try it once and I didn't like the results, so I just never did it again. So I've had these strops for several years, and I got my hands on some 1x3x8 MDF, and they fit perfectly with the leather. It fits absolutely flush on both sides. Now I have this horsehide one, and I also have this cowhide one. I cut up pretty bad too, and I'm going to do the same thing here. What I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to cut one section here and have a bench strop, and then I'm going to cut this bottom section, which is what's all chewed up on the face on the front of it. I'm going to flip that over, and I'm going to have this side of the leather, but I'm going to put some paste on here. So I'll have a cowhide strop and then a pasted side, and I'll have a horsehide strop. Now these straps also come with cotton canvas, a section of cotton canvas and a section of nylon. And what I'm going to do is take a section of this cotton canvas and make a canvas bench strop. So I'll have 4 bench strops that I'll be able to use for a variety of different things. The reason I went with this size and not a 3x10 or a 3x12 is because most of my natural stones are the 3x8. So for me, this is kind of a natural, this is what I'm used to. So what I'll end up doing is using one of my stone holders that I know fits the 3x8 stone and just drop this into the stone holder, and now I have a bench strop, or I'll have 4 bench straps, depending on what I'm going to be doing. So let's take one of these pieces of leather. We'll go upstairs to where I cut all my fabric for when I'm doing the sewing project, and we'll cut one of these pieces of leather down and start putting one of these together. I'll show you what I'm going to be doing. All right, here we are. This is where I work on sewing projects. So we have our piece of leather. We have to cut this 8 inches. So we are going to set this up right here. So I'll be making a cut right along this here, 8 inches here, and then right again here at 16 inches. So we're going to be making both of those cuts. But I want to make sure that this is straight. before I do this. I could always make some adjustments if I have to, but after I cut it. But I just want to make sure that's straight there. So we'll do our first cut down here with our rotary cutter. So I want to make sure that this is perfectly aligned. 16 inches. The 16-inch mark. Have to excuse the light there for a second. All right. Oop, I just moved it. That's what I got to be careful of, that I don't move this at all. I keep this straight on the 16-inch mark. There we go. That's that one. And then we'll come right up here to this 8-inch mark. And that's right below that big cut right there. There we go. A little bit of overhang here. Actually, no, there isn't. That's flush perfect. So there we go. That's going to be our first bench strap. So I'm going to do that to the rest of the pieces of fabric, the pieces of leather, and then the other pieces of fabric. And that'll be that. All right, guys, let's go we're back downstairs and we'll put this together. All right, guys, we are back downstairs. We have our piece of horsehide leather that we cut. We have our block, and we are going to be attaching it with some contact cement. Just make sure this is nice and cleaned. We'll put a little contact cement on here. And then we'll put that piece of leather on there. I'm just brushing this contact cement in. A little bit more here. There we go. You don't need a lot of this. I do hate the smell of this stuff. Ugh. But when you're going to bind projects like this where you're using like leathers and wood or plastic or something, it does work really well. Make sure we get enough on here. Especially on these edges, I don't want this coming unsecured or coming off here at the edges. Okay. I think that's good. All right, let's set our piece of leather on here. Nice and flush. Just like that. Just making sure I press this down really good. I have a roller, but I don't know where it went, but this is small enough where I don't think that's really necessary. I think I can just apply enough even pressure with my hand. I don't think I have to worry about rolling it out. Nice and flush, even. There we go. Bed strap. So I'm just gonna work on getting the rest of these done, cut the rest of the fabric, the leather, and I will put the rest of these together, and within the next week or so, when I start doing some more strapping, especially with that Arkansas stone, I'll try and utilize a couple of these bench straps, and we'll see how they work. All right, guys, that'll do it. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you next time. Take care.